Today we're going to talk about business basics for financial aid. I know there's a lot of questions out there with this whole coronavirus issue and the economy and what's going on and how can I help get my business on it, keep it on its feet, keep my employees paid, and keep some funds going to the business. So today I want to talk about the basics for financial aid and what you can do to help get yourself some money that you might need. So first thing you need to do is to look at your tax return and determine what type of business you are. So you want to look up in the upper left-hand corner. If you see up here, you'll see 1120S. That tells me that you are an S corporation. Second possibility is that you are a 1065. That means you're an LLC or a partnership. And then the third option is that you are self-employed or an independent contractor. You would file a Schedule C, and that is part of your 1040 tax return. So the first thing you need to know is what type of business am I? If you are an S Corp, let's go back to the S Corp for a second. If you are an S Corp, then your income will show on line 1. That will be the first question that they will ask on a PPP loan, and we'll get into what a PPP loan is later. But the second is they'll want to know what your cost of goods sold is. And that you'll see on line 2. You'll need to know what your employees and your payroll. Now remember, if you have an S Corp, you have formed a corporation and the corporation has hired you as its employee. So you should have payroll for yourself as an officer and then however many employees you have. Those would be on lines 7 and line 8. Then they're going to ask you, what are your total expenses of the business? You'll see the expenses here on line 20, and your profit will be line 21. If you are an LLC or a partnership, again, you'll see the 1065 up in the corner. Your tax ID number is up in the upper right-hand corner. It's 2 digits followed by 7 digits. Your income will be here on line 1. Your cost of goods sold will be here on line 3. Your payroll will be on line 9. Now, when you're an LLC, you do not have payroll to the owners. That payroll will be only payroll to your employees. The owners do not take a paycheck. Then we'll want to go down and see what your total expenses are and your profit. Finally, if you're self-employed or you're an independent contractor, you would again file a Schedule C. You would have a tax ID number right up here. Your income would be on line 1. Your cost of goods sold would be on line 4. Your employee payroll would be again down here on line 26. Keeping in mind again, if you're an independent contractor or self-employed, you do not have payroll for yourself. This is only payroll for employees that you pay. Then you have your total expenses here on line 30, and your profit is line 31. With a self-employed individual, the profit is considered the wages. So that's the number that they'll want for your wages to the owner. I get a lot of people who ask me, well, what does it mean if I'm a contractor? A contractor simply means a method of payment. It doesn't mean anything in terms of what type of organization you are. You can be a contractor and still receive a 1099, but you can be a contractor in an S Corp, you can be a contractor in an LLC, you can be a contractor in a partnership, or you can be a contractor and be self-employed. Being a contractor is not related to what type of business you have. To know that you have payroll, you would have to have withholding, meaning that every time you pay somebody, you are taking out Social Security, you're taking out Medicare tax, and you're taking out unemployment tax, the employer's portion of unemployment tax, and remitting it. If you are just paying people and you are not withholding any taxes, they are not your employees, they are contractors, and they would have to apply for their own loans.